But first, let's also understand what exactly you do. And I'll put this to the director, because the name is, one would say, self-explanatory. But the in-depth of what really you do, for me to understand why you're relevant to me.
So thank you. What we're doing is, I'll put it very clear, is that we take companies, they come to us on their own accord. After that, we do an analysis, qualitative and quantitative analysis, and we evaluate their risk factor. So why do we do the risk factor? Is any investor who comes, or if a bank wants to know that such a corporate has any risks, they assess through our analysis. And what is the analysis that we're doing? We use Camel methods, not only Camel method, but other credit analysis that helps us to evaluate a company. But not only that, like, what is the future of this company? That's what we also look through our analysis. We look at the past history, the present, and the future of this company. What does it entail? Because, like, you are going to an international company. He wants to know who you are. But how can I know who you are? I can only know who you are by stating your present and your future and how do you operate your company. So we do all the analysis. And the analysis is like a 50-page report. It's not like a 1 or 2 pages. We do a 50-page, a whole comprehensive of the company. We not only look at your payments or your financials, but we also look at your management structure. So that if an investor or a bank wants to, let's say, give you a loan or have a risk on you, he'll evaluate who you are through our analysis report, and he gets to make a conclusive decision. So that's in brief. I can be able to.
Now, coming back to you, Musinguzi, when you talk about these institutions coming to you, now when we talk about credit institutions, they're broad. We have SACCOs, we have banks. Briefly give us the categories here.
Yes, so you realize that in our ecosystem, it is mostly focused, it is spread out wide around the economy. You'll find that you have tier 1 banks, we have tier 2, we have tier 3, we have 4. So that entails also into the cooperatives as well. The saving, the village saving, I can call it an association. So you'll find that, but for us, what the focus now is that if you are playing at the top level, or at the level of which we are trying to look at gauging where the economy is standing. For example, is this entity able to be invested in? You look at this, is only, the discussion is normally with banks, if you look at a certain level of the economy. However, we have also seen that microfinance institutions also are extending economic growth to the people or to the entities as well. So we are looking at a very strong relationship. That's why PSFU is very key in this area, that it is an umbrella body of over 1,200 companies in the country. It also has associations. So you look at the Uganda Manufacturers Association, you have discussions at that level. You look at the Uganda Bankers Association. This is inclusiveness for all, because we are following agendas that are leading to developmental programs. We have the Agenda 2030, we have the Agenda 2040, and Agenda 2060. The Africa we want, the Uganda we want, the Sustainable Development Goals. So you find that it is inclusiveness for all, where someone can access capital and credit, and all this is through credit rating and recommendation.
Now, you've talked about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, but we also have, do you only deal with formal institutions? Because we have, I don't want to use the word money lenders. You know, it doesn't sound very good, because they have been branded, I give you a goat, I take a cow. But you have those institutions that lend out money. They may not be that very formal. So can they also apply?
So,
or it is basically for those and a Bank of Uganda, those whatever, and all that.
So maybe to give more light to the audience today, even the money lenders are under a regulation, and that is under the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority. So you'll find that whoever is dealing in the financial ecosystem, I would like to mention that Uganda has a robust financial system, regulated, monitored, and supervised by relevant regulatory bodies. So you will not find that there's anyone out of the ecosystem that is not regulated. Everyone who is providing a financial service is regulated and overseen somewhere. Even us here, who even today we have no law as credit rating agencies, we are still being monitored, evaluated by these regulators across the value chain. Yes. So you will find that the financial sector is a system is robust. So we welcome everyone as long as you are duly registered in the laws of Uganda, you are regulated, or you are, you are supervised by a certain entity or regulator in the market. For example, that's why we have seen PSFU coming in today. We're signing an agreement with us. We are members of PSFU. So there are very many other members in PSFU that need these services. So we emphasize the ease of doing business in the country through making sure that people are formal and bankable.
Okay, now Mansour, Uganda, I'm looking for a decent, proper packaging of what I'm going to say. But Uganda is also a land of wonders, a land of the unbelievable that does happen. So in that, why should one trust your rentings? We've seen, for example, in the media, we've seen some organization that says it rates media houses, and when you're an advertiser and you go there, they'll give you, these are the lists, this is the viewership, this is the listenership, all that. But crafty, smart owners of some houses simply pay off. Now they give you rentings that don't actually reflect the truth. So why should I trust ratings of ICRA?
Thank you. So I'll start with the word you have said, unbelievable. Okay? Here in Uganda, why are we here? You can ask yourself. We're an international credit rating agency, and we have been accredited by the Central Bank of Tanzania, and we are the first ever credit rating agency to be present in the East African region. So let me put it across like this, that we term ourselves as an African-centric credit rating agency, that we are here for the Africans. Not only that, but our methodologies have been vetted by the Central Bank, which there is no credit rating agency locally here who can substantiate that. Not only that, but we follow international standards methodology, which analyzes each and every company. And not only that, we are not only catering for the financial sectors, but we go also to the corporate side also, which we believe the service is there. And because they say we call ourselves as an African-centric credit rating agency, we believe even our prices are very price sensitive and to cater for the Ugandan and also the whole of East African market. Thank you.
Very interesting, and of course the word for trust is there. But also, Musinguzi, now if you're at liberty to reveal what measures do you follow, or what are the requirements for an entity to be rated by you, apart from, because there could be an entity out there and they want to come to you and be rated because of a number of issues that we shall look at later. So what are the conditions or requirements?
Yeah, as I think I'll just top up on what Mr. Hassan had said. We have processes that we go through. Definitely, we have a process that is a document collection. That means that you fill a set of questionnaire, you have a set of requirements you submit to us. To mention about a few, you will have to have your 3-year audited books of accounts. You will have your projections. You will have, of course, to give us your organogram or your management structure. We are looking at all those things, because it compels about 25% of our report, how we look into your management accounts, your operational accounts, most of those things, your bank statements. And then as well, we have what you call a committee that goes through all that for analysis. And then we make sure that, of course, where we also go ahead and see some gaps before we can award our rating, where it can be an outlook or whatever it is that can be a positive, negative. We also have grading scales or rating scales which go from AAA, up, down there. But most importantly is that for us, we understand the entity. We try our level best to make sure that we do tailor-made solutions. That's why I earlier said that Director Hassan had said we are locally based. We understand the challenges of the African market. So we are not going to go out there, throw a list of complicated, requirements for an African entity not to fulfill. We try our level best to achieve SDG goal number 17, which is partnerships for goals. So we understand that in the African market, specifically the East African market, there are very many things that entail in one coming up to get an entity to a level of a company, to a joint venture, to a private-public partnership, to all those things. So we agree to be flexible, but it is a series of a process that we go through together, which is submitted at various committees, and then we review to see that at least it is affordable and also to make sure that it is accessible for each and everyone in the financial market.
Now, also, Mansour, I want to understand if I'm a credit institution, for sure, and my business is doing very well. One of the businesses I'm told that works so well is any business that offers credit. Many people, many businesses survive on credit. I've interacted with a number of business people, but I hardly hear any who doesn't say, in a local saying, Musinguzi understands that properly, amabanja gantwala, loan is intwala, as if it's a universal problem. Even those doing very well will tell you, and one will tell you, I borrow here, I borrow here. Now, if my business is doing very well, people are coming, I'm giving them money, then why should I come to ICR, submit interest to be rented, of which report may even downplay me if I don't meet the requirements, and that is captured? Yes.
Thank you. A very good question. I'll just put like this: in any credit, in any credit facility or credit institution, there's always the need to get funds. Okay. And how do we know that? Like, if I may ask, which is the top microfinance in the country? Internationally, we don't have that data. So why are we here? We are here to portray that. But not only that, I'll put it, in credit, we always need funds. And in order to get funds, we need cheap funds. But where are the cheap funds? International. But the international companies, how will they know that these credit facilities or credit institutions are worth it? We as ICRA come in between as a bridge. We portray that this company is good, and it has. But not only that, we are not like a rating agency who just comes and collects the document. We work together. And we'll tell you, like, after doing the analysis, we believe that in the next year, we not only do for a 1 year rating, it goes on a year basis. So we grow together with you. Not only that, but the other thing is we work together with you, and we discuss with you on the ways in order to improve your ratings. Not only that, we don't sell reports like other rating agencies. Your report is your report. It's your property, and we cannot disclose the rating. It's upon your consent, that's when you can do it. That's the apex and the unique of International Credit Rating Agency. And we believe that in Uganda, this is the best product currently that we have. Thank you.
Now also, Musinguzi, let me understand, where does PSFU come in? Because you have private sector foundation, then you have ICRA, and that. Please explain more.
Yeah, so we all of us in Uganda know for sure that the private sector is the driver and the engine of this economy. And the apex body of the private sector is the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. Because you look at inclusiveness from everyone playing in the private sector. Meaning that if we look at even where the development plan of the country is, we are looking at commercial agriculture, industrialization and manufacture, look at ICT, look at services sector. All these will be found under the umbrella body, which is the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. ICRA, for that matter, also is looking at providing the ease of accessing certain financial services in the sector or in the country. So the mere fact that we are members of the PSFU, which coordinates regional trade, continental trade, we are looking at even it marketing Uganda out of this country. We have seen that we have participated in expos, in trades, in summits, where we have seen that Uganda UAE summit. We have seen that companies have gone out there an extra mile to go, and PSFU has been at the focal point of this. So how about we position our businesses, our private businesses, into the global competition, into the African market competition, into the regional competition? I'm talking about trade which goes up to $400 million and above of trading. But you cannot participate in this trade if you're still having the traditional way of keeping books, writing in a ledger, keeping in the wardrobe. It can't work. We must offer invoices, we do audited books of accounts, we do formal registration to make sure that we get certification. ICRA is ISO certified. We belong to very many other certified groups and associations along the world. We look at the Gulf connections, we look at Spain connections, we look at London connections. How would we position this large corporate to play in the largest oil and gas sector in this world? So that is what we are bringing on table with PSFU, to rejuvenate and generate a better financial ecosystem for the country. Yes.
Now, that well said. It sounds so rosy indeed. But I want to know its impact. How important is renting a business to our economy? And that goes to Mansour.
Thank you. Very well, I'll put it across like in practical manners. We say like you're an A-rated or an investment grade rating. So any investor who will come, or a bank, once he knows that you are risk-free, he'll be very easy for you to invest or to put money or to expose himself to your company. He can easily lend to you because we portray who you are. So our goal is we act like a bridge. And we not only focus on the Ugandan market, we also seek on the international market. I'll give you a very good, we have been followed by 7 to 8 investors who have asked us, like, what companies can we invest in Uganda? The issue is we don't have that data to say that these are the companies, the right companies who they can invest. So that's why we are here, to act as a bridge, to showcase Ugandan companies who they are, and how can the international market engage with the Ugandan market and the Ugandan companies. Because I believe there are Ugandan companies which are A-rated and their investment grade ratings, which they need to be exposed to the international market so that they can get more funds to them. So that's why ICRA, we are here in Uganda, locally based.
And how long have you been in Uganda? And a brief background, what has your experience been like, Musinguzi?
Yeah, so we have been in operation for about a year now, and then we have a local fully-fledged team. Our offices are just in the middle and the heart of town at Parliamentary Avenue. Our experience, of course, has been that we need to create more awareness and more engagement with the people, because, you know, coming from COVID, coming from very many experiences, people are now appreciating what you can say in the credit world, what you can say, putting out information out there about a person. So yes, we have seen that very many locally based companies have not interested themselves in such services. But internationally based companies or conglomerates have interested themselves in these services because they know the benefit. They are getting funds at a very, very cheap interest. We're talking about being able to access funds which are as low as 10% per annum. I mean, in that way, you can then manage to grow in an economy which is growing between 6 to 8% of economic growth per annum. So if you look at the cost of money in the country, which is what we are trying to make sure that we sensitize these entities. So for the next 6 to 12 months, we are ready to look into any bit of awareness and sensitization, programs, so that we can as well teach people. It comes from awareness that people will then understand and adopt certain things. We are putting Uganda at a level of playing at the international market. So we need to make sure that we play internationally.
I love playing at the international market, and when we have very organized investors come in our country, they'll look for organized institutions to work with. One man once said, opportunity comes to those that are prepared. And if you're going to be a very good business person, you must be prepared. We're in globalization. When we talk about opportunities that came with hosting the non-aligned movement, where we had a private sector foundation, UNDP, organize the trade, the business and trade exhibition that was at Serena. Our government aimed at attracting investors. I saw people from Qatar, those serious business people, and of course when they're here, they want credible institutions to deal with when it comes to issues of credit. Now, if you're a money lender there, if you've been doing business, I am me. There are those who will tell you, no. In my business, I am me, and the business is me. Now, that becomes a challenge with the executive director, then the books, then everything. There's so much you may lose. The world is advancing into order. It's becoming a global market, and the only way you can thrive is when you're very, very organized. And I want to believe that one of the institutions is ICRA, International Credit Rating Agency. Allow me go for a short break. Now, when I return, we'll be discussing more with my guests. Keep it to UBC. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Have you packed more with Harbour jelly and Harbour foam?
Yes, we pack.
It will protect your skin from skin rashes.
Move it pack.
It is a new improved Morbid Harbour jelly. So soft and smooth.
It is a Morbid Harbour jelly.
Tell me, kids, the scent. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Movit Harbour Jelly and Harbour Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit all day confidence.
Thank you. Hello, Eric. Come and see my new home.
Are you looking for the best quality paint for your dream home? Be part of the new revolution with our Global Paint Silk Vinyl that gives you beautiful, shining interior walls, as WeatherCoat gives you never fading and strongly guarded walls against bad weather conditions. Located along Namavi Industrial Park, Global Paints, a reliable product.
The energy of this land comes to life in dreams and memories. It lights up in these nights and leads us towards new horizons. It was born in the hearts of these men, of these women. The energy of this land comes from here. It comes from Africa, and it vibrates in each of us.
Powered by Africa.
Oryx service stations, powered by Africa.
Welcome to Dade Nazarene Primary School, Luzira, a school that gives your child a positive learning environment that makes them feel comfortable and safe. We are a progressive year-round Nazarene Primary School, providing a child-centered approach to early learning, collaborative family atmosphere, and a safe, inspiring environment that encourages exploration and creativity. Dade Nazarene Primary School offers a wide range of co-curricular activities that promote teamwork, physical and mental development, including ballet, soccer, basketball, piano, and home economics. Admissions are in progress from baby class to P7, starting from the 8th of January to the 5th of February 2024. Find us at the first left turn after Oryx service station towards Luzira.
Production process of Aquafina, we expertly filter every drop, providing clear and perfect tasting water to help you keep hydrated with the added benefit of minerals. Aquafina is bottled by Pepsi Cola International in Uganda and is available at only 1,000 shillings.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. I'm Robert Chiravo, and with me I have officials from the International Credit Rating Agency here in Uganda, which is an international organization, but is in Uganda. It's spent about a year now, ensuring that they rate these credit agencies. And what is the aim of that? To ensure that they perform to standard, and you, the client who is going there, you go to the right people who have been tested, who have been proven, who have provided all it takes for you to deal with the right people in modern day of doing business. Now I have Hassan Manisuru, who is the director of the institution, and Musingu Zilaban Joshua, head business development here in Uganda. Now, Joshua, you said you're now at an awareness stage. Now, what particular groups are you targeting at this stage?
Yeah, so of course, at this level where we are looking at is that we are trying to work strategically or have meaningful partnerships that will really give us timely results. So we focus on areas where we can find and or converge people. And of course, this would be in associations. This would be, for example, now if you look at the Uganda, the associations of microfinances in Uganda, you look at the Uganda Bankers Association, the Uganda Insurance Association, the Oil and Gas Service Providers Association. All these are key players and partners in the country. But what are we, most importantly, the message, what we're trying to put into there is, we're trying to understand that credit risk should not be, 100% to the banks, to the corporates, to these, members of these associations. So as ICRA, we strategically come and identify this risk and make sure that at least as per international standards, we identify that at least 20% of the risk is taken on capital. So if we can understand that we can have relationships with these key organizations and make sure that at least by all means an investment is going to be made based on our rating report, it means that we will have continuously within the ecosystem understood that company X would require this amount of money in the next 3, 5, 10 years. And would it need to have, debt financing, equity financing? For example, if I asked what is the biggest microfinance, in our economy, like Hassan said, it is very hard to identify the data. It's very hard to identify that we have, and you'd be shocked if you went publicly. If any person went and publicly looked at the information that these financial institutions are putting out there and probably have analysis on them, you'd be shocked that some institutions would work in a different context. But an investor who is coming in to put in money, be it being debt, be it being equity, they can even invest. They have appetite of investing in the financial system of Uganda, where we're looking at, the interest rates going in a certain direction. So these are discussions we can have with these associations, because we believe that when we speak a voice, when you're one, it will be complicated for you. But if you come as a group, if you come as partnerships and have one voice, it means that each and every one in the ecosystem will hear what we're talking about. The uptake of SCF, the uptake of SBRF, all these are funds that are available for small, medium, SMEs, large corporates. All partnerships have been there. DFIs are ready to finance in certain, projects, social impact projects. That's why we are bringing the ESG ratings. We are looking at how do we even understand the level of ESG for the benefit of our economy.
Now, you rightly talked about the benefits and the specific categories that you want to roll out this sensitization. But Mansour, during your time here so far, what has been your analysis of our credit sector?
So I'll put it in a very, very simple way. Yeah, we have done like a preliminary estimation of the banks around here, and we see their viabilities. But if a foreigner will come and like somebody from Wells Fargo does an analysis on these banks, he doesn't have the data, actual data, to show who the banks are. The public information which is available, I can say is not conclusive. So we are looking like to partner with these banks so that we can showcase who they are. Now, coming into that, that's why we are thinking like we have more interactive with the banks. We get to know who they are in clearly without the public information, because some banks or some institutions, they don't give their financials out in their websites and everything. So we are partnering with banks, we work with them together to show who they are. Because an international analyst, when he does a rating on these banks, some of the banks don't meet the investment grade. But in Uganda, we know these banks are good and they're working on an investment grade. So we need to work with them. We get the information and portray who they are in the market and in the international market also. Not only that, but the corporates here. I believe they are investment grade corporates, very large corporates. I'm a Tanzanian, but we also know Ugandans are very good in the manufacturing sector, in the financial sector. So we believe that in my assessment and through the ICRA rating agency, we believe we can push Uganda to another level and also expose it to the international market. Not only that, but I also put it, ICRA rating, we are not subjected to any sovereign rating. So we do on our national scale, and if a company is an A-rated company, we give it an A, which is supposed to be.
Now, there is a fear that, yes, I'm subjecting myself to this rating. If I don't meet standards, then what next? Master still.
Thank you. So what we do is we work with you. We know, like, because the first thing we say, we don't advertise your rating. Like, we work with you. And I have said previously, it's your product. It's your rating, and we discuss with you. So we'll sit down with you, and we keep analyzing you as we go. Because the rating, after the first year, we do a revise of rating quarterly. So that means your rating can shoot up. After you take our advice and we analyze, like, change the management structure, or do your financials in this manner, which we think meets international, so it will upshoot to another, or it can downgrade. So, but mostly we work with you daily. It's not like we just do a rating to you and then we are out. No, we work with you daily, and we'll be inquiring, like, give us some more news. Because our rating, we also need to substantiate to the investors. Like, we have given you an A. Who are you an A? In the next year, are you maintaining that A level which we saw you when we met you? So that's what we are doing. So we work with you, and we believe that it's a relationship which has to go in a long-term basis, so that we can be able to uplift you to the investment grade rating.
Now, Musinguzi, while I was listening to you, you talked so much about the benefits we have as a country, have as an economy, but I also need your opinion on this being optional or voluntarily. You know, that I can choose to come, you people, or not. Yet it would give us good standards and boost investment in this country. But it's optional. I can choose or not.
Yeah, you see, well, there's a common phrase, those who studied, maybe I would say, divinity or history or whatever, they say that change will change you. So in the long run, for us to understand that in the future, it will be very important for you. You know, business is open to, it's normally trust. Business, it is trust, it is transparency, it is integrity, that you can manage to complete that business deal. We are looking at the central bank raising the capital for our commercial banks, the capital requirements. It's because the world is moving. We are implementing Basel III, in the country. These are all frameworks. I'm talking about frameworks in the financial sector. You're looking at the Camel ratings, you're looking at the Rommel ratings, in the insurance sector. So you find that every day there's financial innovation, like how you see that people are going into electric cars. Even the financial ecosystems will have innovation, will have changes, will have where you'll find that if you're not having a certain qualification somewhere, it will be very hard for you to access cheap credit, because then you'll not maximize your profit. Then you'll not have anything you're doing in business at the end of the day. If you have a goal where you're seeing that you're achieving your company in the next 30, 50 years, like we have seen companies that have grown over time. We have seen 70-year-old companies, 100-year-old companies that have stood strong in even African markets, even where, we have seen them in the oil and gas. You've seen most of those big players that are playing. They are not 50 years and below. They are over 50 years and above. So if we are willing to also build companies, organizations, agencies, then we shall need to be dynamic, non-static, in a way that at the end of the day in the financial sector is your information on how you're accessing credit and how you're using credit. It differentiates on what you want and what you need as a business.
Well, I want to thank you so much, gentlemen, and I have to let you go. But before I do that, I'll just give each of my guests just a minute to have their final remark. And I'll begin with the director, Mansour.
Thank you. Just to finalize, I'll have to say, I'm going with the African Union vision that we need to have our own credit rating agency. And to say the truth, we are now locally based, and we are the credit agency, African-centered, and we wish to uplift the Africa market and also show who we are in the international market. So I believe through International Credit Agency, we'll be able to provide transparency, standards, and also show who we are as East Africans, as Africa, and as a financial market as a whole.
Thank you, Mansoor and Musinguzi, as we move out of here.
Yeah, I would like to give a credit out there to media, to most of the people who are trying to make sure that this message goes to people. And as a Ugandan or Ugandan local market here, I know that I can give assurance to the corporates, to the regulators, to everyone there that we are bringing new innovations that are for the good of our country. New innovations that are good for our region. Making sure that the integration is ready to speak to the markets. Making sure that at least the innovation that comes out from all this group of products we are offering in this Ugandan market, right, ranging from the lending to everything, the systems, it is really, really robust to make sure that we can position our country as individuals and as patriots. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your time, and above all, my bosses, you, the viewer, thank you very much for being with us right from 6:30 till now, and even those that come joining along. We are here every weekday, 6:30 till the hour of 9 when Good Morning Uganda comes to an end, but then we have an extension, which is Good Morning Uganda Extra, that runs up to 10 a.m. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyoni Ntono, wishing you a lovely day. It is the International Credit Rating Agency. Please go find out more about them. Ensure that you are among those that are rated, because there are enormous benefits. See you tomorrow, the God Lord willing, for God and